Okay, so I'm back in the Finch house, trying to find my way to another ancestor so that I can relive
After Sam died,
their
my
ghastly
mom and Edie
death.
got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
I forgot how awesome my gloves were.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
So, the music only plays when I'm moving the frog? And I click to make it jump. Please don't make me drown a baby. I don't want to drown a baby in this game.
Watch over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you...
I'm making the frog move.
I wonder what he saw.
What's happening?
What his world was like.
It's actually pretty hard.
He reminded me so much of Captain. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw,
A synchronized swimming game?
it sure made him happy.
I assume this is like Katamari Damacy. I just gotta clean up everything. What is happening to my whale? I cannot get the G. G is a very important letter to me. Why can't I get it? There we go. There's like... Okay, those 3 conjoined ducks are bothering me. I gotta pause it real quick because I'm concerned that I might have lost track of my restream chat here. Oh hey, Nathan's watching. Yeah, I totally missed when Nathan showed up, so glad I checked. Nathan, you're up very late. Okay, so can I grab the frog? Can I get the whale over to me? I want the whale. Give me the whale. What am I supposed to do now? Is there a way for me to get a hold of that plug? I just really don't want this to be a baby drowning simulator. That just would make me extremely sad. Oh, it just needed to be right side up? And now what? This baby's hands keep moving like something's supposed to happen. What? What? What does it all mean? Aha!
Silly it sounds.
Okay.
But I worried about a baby being too happy.
And now we're getting all bubbly.
I feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I'm very nervous. No, don't.
I wish you could have told us
No!
about the world he saw.
Stop it! No! This is an actual horror of mine. Nope.
There's so much I don't understand. About Gregory.
What?
About everything.
Okay. I guess this is a way to sort of minimize the pain of drowning a baby?
Know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Oh. Oh, sheesh. Ah. Okay, how many folks we got left here? We've got Edie, Dawn, Gus, Milton, and Lewis. Can I do more of that? That was pretty distressing. Oh, same little artifacts from his life.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
Gus, huh?
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
All right. So I'm controlling this with WASD.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her,
Though controlling,
need a stepmom.
I'm using that term loosely.
Husband and wife. Make him cry.
Am I going to electrocute this child? Alright, where's... What are my options here? Oh, hello. What?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Nice. So I keep expecting...
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
I keep expecting controlling this kite to be more complex, and it's actually just directly following WASD. Like, I could make this much easier on myself. Where's the next words? Oh, there they are. What? Who thinks of this?
Buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
This is vibrating my controller, of course, that I'm not using. And that's problematic. I don't want it to be rattling around on the desk.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
These are morbid people.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
I mean, wrapping a poem around the kite string reel that killed him? Alright.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Okay, this looks like
At
an
the
amazing
time,
bedroom.
It was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Oh, what's this?
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. Lewis was born a year later.
I assume a year after India and not a year after her dad died. It's one of the problems
When my dad
with
died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
it's one of the problems with giving the player too much control over the story. It's hard to predict exactly which order they'll see things in.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Oh. So this one didn't necessarily die. It's weird, I'm not really there, but I still feel the same kind of anxiety about getting out of the, windy weather.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh, what? Wait, what was that? What was that? Oh, achoo, okay. That was like a secret message or something. This is a very long flip book. This is an absurdly long flip book. That's it?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
They're just putting the weirdest stuff at the end here. Alright. So can I use his magic door downstairs?
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Is this his magic door? Can I interact with anything in here? So we got some yellow footprints. I feel like I'm not done. I feel like that flip book can't have been everything, can it? Oh, it's... Oh, I don't know, maybe it can. Maybe it's just he left through a mysterious door, and that's the whole thing. And... yeah, I guess I'll go out the way I came.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
It is nice that, you know, whenever I feel like I've got some doubt about whether I'm going the right direction, they reassure me by playing some of the text. Aww. Okay, so that painting is leaning against that wall. Does that mean anything? Not that I can tell. Oh. More stairs. Can I can go up here? Okay. So check out the way they designed this. When I first came through this door, I had no indication there were stairs to the right. I would have had to have been looking specifically for them. This thing just completely attracted my attention, and so even though I think technically I could have skipped Milton, I didn't. You know, I did exactly what they were hoping I would do.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Okay, so it looks like... oh. Nope, not this way. Each of these climbing animations seems like it had to be custom built for the location. I am crazy high up in the air right now. This world is gorgeous, though.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Huh. Wonder what it smelled like.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
So,
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
oh, what's this gonna be? Can I reach whatever that is? What is that? Can
wander.
Oh. Oh, what? Oh, I'm controlling this with WASD. So...
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
So I'm navigating a maze
Then something moved. Bats.
while chopping fish heads.
Toads.
This is gonna be a disaster.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
What the
I worried
heck?
about him then.
The graphics of his imagination got better and better.
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
I'm chopping my
So I
hand
let
off,
him go
aren't
on.
I? I'm totally chopping my hand off.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
This whole thing is just completely infected by the fact that I'm sure I'm gonna cut my hand off. I can't even
And
focus.
songs for them to play.
Like, for me to navigate this labyrinth,
He talked about starting a band,
I have to really be bad at chopping fish heads off.
and he was always humming something.
Oh, see, I totally lost track of what I was doing with the guy.
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
I fuck up fish!
He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Ah,
Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
now I'm Mario?
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
This
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
This just keeps going.
New Louisville. St. Louis.
Feels a bit like the flame in the flood now.
We started drifting away from our reality.
Ah, I can't steer my boat. Ah.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
So he's just lost in thought. His mom's talking to him. He's like, whatever. I'm just gonna keep chopping fish heads.
He heard rumors of a
Beautiful prince or a handsome queen.
beautiful prince.
What is up with this water?
The prince was on his own quest for
Oh, obviously rainbows.
radiant rainbows.
This is bizarre. Uh-oh.
He followed the sound of his
Electric sitar, obviously.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
They had to build this whole branching path, didn't they?
Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh, I can't see the guillotine anymore.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Ah, so many fish!
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Ah, this is ridiculous.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know.
Like we're just dropping whole
I think
fish?
it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
Are we just dropping whole fish into this river? What's going on?
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Hey, buddy.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
This seems like a...
The palace would be packed with his companions.
I'm like 3 levels deep in this now.
Including the wise Calico who insisted on inviting him.
Wise Calico?
His prince waiting, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Yeah?
Bend down his head.
Oh, sheesh! Oh! I can't do it. Oh.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Okay, so looks like we're missing Edie and Dawn? So, you think my mom is next, and then the great-great-grandmother?
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Oh, at least once more than me, huh? Alright, so is there a way out of here that isn't the way I came in? Did I miss something? Can't open this door. So, no, oh, no, I didn't say go down there. I didn't even touch Wazdi. Wait, did I just see it? Dang it. Stop going in and out of that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am not going to even look at that exit. There. That's where I'm trying to go. Right there.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Is packing peanuts?
But I understand why we left.
How did they...
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
I keep thinking I can't go any higher in this house. And there just keeps being more space to explore. Like, how did they cram all this in here?
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Yeah?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
It occurs to me that we don't see a lot of these characters' faces.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning.
Oh.
Okay?
They do a good job of, like, timing my progress through the house so that I hear the... so that I trigger all the lines at good times. I have such control over it. It's weird that it works as well as it does.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
So I'm...
But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Okay, so they just dragged... I was trying to turn around and look at the old house. They dragged the camera back to catch the text. So when I'm following the level the way they intend me to, it feels like it's uncannily timed so that I see all the text at exactly the right moment. But they're actually guiding my camera subtly. That's interesting.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Alright.
I got turned around. For a while, I wandered.
Seems like a bad idea.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
I'm totally into these knit gloves, huh?
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
Oh.
The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while. And then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
No comment.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh. Wow. Well, I liked that ending. Oh. That's pretty cool. So I was having performance issues last time I tried to stream this, which is why I've got everything tuned way down to the lowest resolution, or the lowest texture quality. So sorry about that, because I'm betting that there's a much better version of these pictures you could be looking at. This is definitely the kind of game where you want to sit back and appreciate the credits. Not just because the credits themselves are cool, but because, you know, people obviously put a lot of love into this. This game is so full of tragedy, and yet at the same time, the weird things they do like made me want to laugh out loud at the same time that I was very distressed at what was going on. I think some of the, you know, most cathartic experiences come from like tension between multiple emotions like that. No, not the frog. I don't want to remember the frog. They even got baby pictures of the child pictures of the folks from the publisher. That's not very common, actually. Kind of the opposite of the Modern Warfare 2 credits. Five years. Wow. We worked on this for 5 years? Oh, so I can just jump on any one of these to replay it. Well, it's almost midnight, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But well, that was What Remains of Edith Finch. Thank you for joining me, and I'm glad that I played all the way through that. It was different, but it was pretty cool.